Hi, welcome to a new video dedicated to the Hubsan Zino, the new flying video platform from Hubsan. Yes, I know it's not the first and probably one of the last, but I received this machine really lately. So, as you probably already know with the first review dedicated with, this machine suffers of huge instability in terms of hovering, altitude hold, and more some video artifact can be as well noticed. So this video will probably focus more on this machine with the last firmware update and so on, to see if within the new next 3 months since the launch of this machine some improvement have been done. So what is this machine? This is the we'll say the Mavic DJI clone of Hubsan, sold close to twice more cheaper. It's able to film in 4K but only 30 frames per second, with a flying duration about 25 minutes. Okay, it's foldable and it's a 3-axis stabilized video thanks to the micro gimbal system a la DJI. So everything on the papers look promising, but we don't have, for example, any VPU system, for example, to help the altitude hold stabilization, especially indoors. We don't have any avoidance obstacle sensors. So just, I would say, a basic video platform with at least some advanced application where you can enjoy, for example, visual tracking, or be it selfie drone mode and so on. Classic now, I would say a must to have right now, but we will see if there are some, I would say, some originalities and some improvement, I would say, compared to the first batch of the Hubsan Zino. So let's discover this bundle. So let's start with accessories, and the first of all, this is the small printed instruction manual version 1.0, but you can find online some evolution, some upgraded version of the instruction manual where you can find everything, but I will explain more in a video what you will be able to find. Okay, basic, a little bit printed small, but that's at life. We have a complete set of spare props. So the prop system is divided into 2 blades for each props. So each of them represents the half of the length. Okay, so if you're interested with the total length, they are about close to 10 centimeter each of them. Okay, so let's check that. So close to 9.5. okay, so 10 centimeters per half, so you have a 20 centimeters prop system. Coming with, we have and already pre-installed a power supply, okay, here with the European socket, to be plugged to the charger balancer. Okay, so with all unique 3S balancer plug. Be aware this one is the Nelly HV charger. Okay, and to hand with, you have this special cable, okay, where you will plug first the GST connector to this one, where you can find the proprietary connector of the Hubsan battery. Okay, so like the FIME A3, if you plan to use a professional charger, you will be probably to modify this cable, to cut, at least to remove, to strip out the external black isolation wires, to collect and identify the 2 external ones. So one is the ground, okay, so should be the right one, and the plus 11.4 volt will be the left one. Okay, so use a digital multimeter to identify this, to be sure what I'm saying. And then when you identify these 2 external wires, just connect and solder your favorite lead connector to be plugged with your professional charger, and in this case you will be able to swap this balancer plug to your favorite one, where the balancing and the control will be probably better with more accurate voltage reading as well. So what is coming? You have 3 cables already pre-installed one. Okay, so each of them you have transmitter side is written here. Okay, maybe you will be able to read here. So you have a TX, and the other side is written phone. So this one is a micro USB to micro USB. This one is, if I'm not wrong, for iPhone to your radio transmitter, and the other one is USB-C to micro USB. So you will be compatible with most type of smartphone and tablets. One word about the tablet: you will have to install it by pulling this one, and the maximum I would say smartphone you can install is something about a 6.2 inch smartphone. Okay, and even this one you will have to really stress the smartphone, so it's maybe more adapted to 6 inch, but by forcing a bit up to 6.2 inch can fit the casing. One remark: the width of this transmitter is much more wider than the for example DJI Mavic one. It means that tablet holder associated with don't work out of the box directly with this radio transmitter. Okay, but I will show in a few instants how to do a mode in order to install a tablet holder. What I don't really like with this transmitter is that the button are absolutely not I would say printed in different colors, so it's pretty hard to guess the role of each button. You have to incline in light to check that. So you have the central power button where you will have to power and to hold the button more than 3 seconds until you hear the beep. You can see the scanning blue light. Okay, to turn off you have to do the same. Here on the left you have the return to home button. Okay, and here is the auto take off or auto landing. This one, if turned onto the left, is a normal mode, and if turned to the right is the sport mode. Beware to be sure that you also turn on the sport mode on the software interface. Okay, two shoulder button. This one is to take photos, okay, and this one to shoot videos. And on the left side, a unique, I would say, dial to control the pitch axis of the gimbal. Rear, no other button. There is also some click button available, but no function actually assigned to them. Concerning the sticks, they are really basic. Really, it's like a toy. The spring is weak. For me, the transmitter is absolutely not fantastic. It's more looking to a basic toys Wi-Fi quadcopters than a professional machine up to $400 machine. Compare, for example, to Xiaomi Fimi A3. This one is much less good. Okay, so especially for the sticks, really I don't like them. You cannot even I would say remove the sticks to install a more metallic rod. That's a pity. You have a built-in batteries, okay, and you have to charge it thanks to this unique micro USB port. Via the same micro USB port you will be able to connect your smartphone or your tablet with. One important word: you will have absolutely to use one of the 3 cables provided with the packaging. Okay, so for example for me is this one, and this one need to be plugged like this. If you plan, for example, to use a cable micro USB to micro USB, or use such kind of converter from large USB to micro USB, a direct cabling like that won't work. Okay, your smartphone or your tablet won't recognize it. Okay, I will show in few instants. What you will have to do is basically to make a cable extender from this micro USB side here, from the original cable. This one is short, is only 10 centimeters, and for me is really one of the first drawback after the really poor quality of the transmitter. These 3 cables are only 10 centimeters. Why they didn't, for example, provided some 20 centimeters? It would be a little bit better, okay, if you plan, for example, to do a phone holder. So here is my solution to install a tablet holder. I will show you, but let's continue to talk about the cabling. I said that you cannot use directly such kind of cable. I will show you like this. for example, and plug this side to the transmitter and the other side to your smartphone. It doesn't work. You will need absolutely to pass through this cable. So how to proceed? About this time of micro USB extender, but probably you can, if you have directly to a USB male to micro USB female directly, you can swap and zap this central one, okay, and in this case you will be able to connect your transmitter to your smartphone like this with this cable extender, and then plug to your USB micro USB of your smartphone tablet. So let's talk about this one. So what I bought, because I tried to make some attempt to make some tablet holder. I bought a DJI Mavic tablet holder. This one is a very popular model, and as you can see that the width of this Zino transmitter is much more wider, much more larger than the original Mavic one, so you cannot use out of the box. What I did, I use this metallic hook here in both sides, as you can see, controlling like this. So you have to unscrew these two screws, insert this metallic hook like this. They are relatively thin, 1 mm of thickness, laterally like this. Then what I'm doing is to install the tablet holder like this. So I will insert first the, if I can do it with one hand, okay, like this. Okay, like this, and then I can push the two hooks front to block the system. As you can see, now it's blocked, and now more or less, and now I will be able to attach, for example, this tablet. So let's show you. Okay, you have some time to fasten the situation, okay, to be sure that it won't be weak. But after a couple of seconds, believe me, it's working, because I have the camera in front of me, so it's not so obvious. Okay, so now it's done. Look that. You can see, well, that after, yes, like this, after a couple of seconds, sorry. Okay, you recognize the ideas. You have to install like this, and you can use some, for example, some string or rubber band to completely secure the installation. But like this, yes, and then push forward the two sticks and hold it, and you are done. So now I've got this tablet holder, I can install it, okay, and you will be able to see that is working. Okay, could be a little bit better installed, but by the way, it's not so bad. And look that, if you secure a little bit more the installation through some rubber band here, collecting here, passing behind and going here, you will be able to secure completely the installation. This is my 2 cents trick. Could be optimized, of course, but at least I will be able to show you all the software parts. So, very important. If you are an Android user, if you plug directly the application, probably you won't receive any video signal. You won't be able to bind the transmitter with your smartphone. There is a reason why. You must activate a special USB mode in order to make the communication pass through. So what you will have to do is to unlock on your Android the default developer mode. So how to proceed if you never did that? This is an Android 7, but for Android 8 and so on will be more or less equivalent to the procedure I would do. You have to go to the settings, okay? And since I already did, I will have this developer mode, okay, available. So First of all, you will have to go to the About Planet tablet, okay, whatever, and then you will be able to find some information about the model. For example, and the more important, you will have to find the all information about the build one. So for example, the model number, and you have to tap several times. So when you are on the right option, you will see that is written you have to tap 5, 4, 3, 2 times and so on. So like this, cancel and so on. So about the tablet, software information. Okay, so here we are. So about the tablet, software information, and the build here. So let's do that. You can read that the developer mode is already turned on, but if it's the first time, you will have to tap fast 5 times to unlock the developer mode. Okay, so when it's done, you will have this new option, developer mode, available here. Okay, and then you will have to turn on the USB debugging. This option needs to be turned on. If it's not done, your Zino won't see your tablet or smartphone. It's more or less the same procedure in Android 8. Okay, so will you have to go to the About tablet or the About smartphone, etc., and where you have the list of all the built-in software, kernel, and so on, and you have specifically this the build kernel version, and you have to click on it, tap fast on it. Okay, so now you're ready to go, and you will see that by default it will work. So when the USB debugging is turned on, it will work. So I will show you, and I will show you a little bit about the Zino. So first of all, before deploying it, I want to give you the information about the 8. So I will remove the gimbal protector. So it's and shipped like this, and look at that. I've got the new version of the Zino. Why? Because I hope you will be able to see I would say the camera hole is now a square model instead of a circle. Okay, so if you have the circle, you have the old one. If you have the square like this, is the new model. I think this is the only change it did, at least officially. I don't know, maybe there are some other hardware fix from the first batch, but officially this is the only change what Hubsan advertised. So let's give you the information about the weight with the battery install. We are about 710 grams exactly. Okay, it's not so bad. So for example, we are below the 800 gram limits for some West Europe countries. That's it means that we don't have to register this machine for such countries. But let's have a look to this one. So to deploy it, you will have first to, if I'm not wrong, to open the front arm like this. Okay, and you have to install until you can feel that this kind of click like this. Okay, so it's open with an angle of something about here we have something about 44 degrees. The same for the front left arm. Okay, like this, and we'll have the same procedure for the rear one. Look that we have an angle of 45 degrees BNS and so on. So look the size of the machine deployed and folded. We have a 350 millimeters machine. So let's have a tour. So we have on the left side the micro USB where you will be able, for example, to update the firmware of the flight controller board and so on. A micro USB slot. You need absolutely a very fast micro SD card to record it correctly. So a fast USB is really important to provide. Check if you have something about more than 80 megabytes as writing speed, very important. Okay, on the top we have one unique power button. So you will need to press and hold this button more than 3 seconds to turn on or off the machine. And on the right side, nothing. Okay. Bottom side, as I said, no special VPU sensor or nothing else to help the stabilization. The open question, if there is internal barometers, okay, and what if you will be able to fly indoors? Probably not. Okay, so to extract the battery, you will need to press the bottom side and extract it. So we have this 3S 3000 mAh LEHV battery, a weight of 204 grams, and this is a special connector. So as I said previously, if you want to use a professional charger, modify the cable to use your favorite charger. So the machine is, in terms of plastic quality, the plastic is a little bit better than the transmitter one. Okay, not being the most fantastic, you know, it's still a kind of hard plastic, not flexible like the Xiaomi A3 or 4K, for example, but it's less catastrophic than the transmitter, I would say. So at least not so bad. We will see if in terms of stability the prop system is okay. The motor has some 180604 sorry. Okay, so no information about this total kV provided. So I will turn on the machine and to show you a little bit about the interface, and I will reconnect the cable I need to provide, okay, for the transmitter. So I will have to, sorry, for direct connection. So I will connect, okay, like this. So I'm ready to go, and then thanks to my cable you will see that now I will be able to connect to the smartphone or tablet thanks to this external solution. So I will power the Zino, okay, long press on this button. You can hear this very treble sound, blue light on front, red on rear. Okay, you have as usual a gimbal stabilization self-calibration procedure, but of course in the application you will be able to find also a way to calibrate everything. I long press the transmitter, and look that you have this message saying is slow charging, is because you activate the USB, okay, and you can press do not show again, and in the same times, if I'm okay, you will be able to run the application, the Hubsan one. This is a common one for all the Hubsan machine, okay, and you will enter to the Zino and enter to the mate interface. So if everything's okay, you should see the video. If not, just replug the cable, okay. I think this one will be okay because I didn't push it too far. Device charging slowly, okay, and then relaunch the application. Enter the Zino. Okay, now I got the video. For the first time you have to bind the transmitter to the aircraft, so you will have to say okay. It will take, and then also if you want to perform some tracking with the GPS, so no visual based, but using both the GPS of your smartphone, tablet, and the Zino one, you will have to make this kind of test. So it will work only if you are outdoors. So I will have a failure because I'm indoors. So actually it says that the distance is about 64 meters. Of course it's not accurate, but I start to have some collecting some GPS information even indoors, not so bad. Okay, so this test need to be a repeat outdoors, but let's have a tour of the settings. So we have, like most of the Hubsan application. Oh, what's happened? Okay, I've got a zoom appear here. I don't know why. Okay, maybe because okay. I cannot. I've got a zoom factor applied, but it's not really important. Let's have a tour to the application. So we have the map. Okay, it's switching between the current view and the Google map. We have here the possibility, but we are in wireless, so this is why it's in a blue cyan color. Okay, we have the auto takeoff when the number of GPS is enough. We have all the kinematics information displayed here, my current GPS information, current pitch and roll and the yaw of the machine, my current altitude and distance from the takeoff location. Here we have the value of the sticks. Okay, if I move here, you will be able to see that the stick is moving. The same for the right stick as well, elevator and so on. And then we have here the possibility to cycle between the video mode, okay, or the photo mode here from the video main application. Then turn like this. Since I don't have any micro SD card, I got a failure. By the way, you have all the settings, so you can select. Okay, so some video settings are only available when you are in the video mode, so turn into video first, then go to the settings, and then you will be able to change, for example, as you can see, the video resolution. So by default you are in 4K, but you have also the access to the 2.71 and the 4K. My another concern about this machine, I'm not sure that this is a real 4K sensor. I think it's more 2.7K playing thanks to interpolation, okay, to reach the 4K, but natively I'm not sure is one. So I will probably fly in 2.7K and 4K as well as the 1080p. But in this case, you can change, when you're in 1080p, you can change to 60 frames per second. Okay, that's great. So if you want to ultra smooth video captures, probably the way to go, more to lower the resolution, but with an increased frame speed. You have the setting of the white color, so whether you're on sunny day, cloudy day, or ordinary, and the type of color, okay. Ordinary, black and white, bright and nostalgic. You will apply some different filter. The type of video format, you don't have the choice. In terms of specific settings, you can select the ISO by either automatic or manual. The type of exposure, automatic or manual. So let's say, for example, we apply manual. Some different settings appear. Okay, and you have the grid line if you want, appearing on the application. You can reformat the SD card or reset the camera information. Okay, so if we switch to the photo mode, we will see if we have some different settings. No, let's say this one is more or less the same that the video, except two less options available. Okay, so I would say that these settings for the video around this button here, you have the possibility to, if you already recorded some file, to replay them here. But the main settings button are here. Okay, so I will remind the role of each. You have, for example, the connection link between the radio transmitter to the machine, okay, the level of battery, the number of received satellite, 11 indoors, so it's a good sign of a good GPS sensitivity. But GPS sensitivity doesn't mean that it won't suffer of any toilet boiling effect. And here we have the general settings of the machine, so a lot of. So mine came with, as you can see, with the flight controller version 1046. There is another one, and of course I will flash to the ultimate one to perform my tests. The FPV firmware is this 10.2.1. the gimbal version is version 3.0.2.1, okay, and gimbal status are okay. I don't know why it starts to reduce the light of this application, so I hope when we are in flight it won't do that, okay, because it will be very annoying each time to tap the screen to re-let appearing the stuff. The second panel is dedicated to the control, so we have the virtual stay on screen is no by default, joystick mode 2. If you allow to take off only when the GPS signal is strong, if maybe you plan to fly indoors, you have to press no, and you have different sensitivity of the virtual joystick, but I cannot access yet to them. The third panel is a term of the control here, so it's connected to Wi-Fi. Okay, in fact, it's a hidden or indirect Wi-Fi through this cable, like for the Xiaomi key in USB tethering, more or less. We have the version 1.0.0 for the hardware, and the firmware installed is the version 0.1.5, so probably not the ultimate one. Let's continue with other settings. We have some map. So allow map calibration is maybe very important if you are flying not in China mainland, because sometimes there is some GPS bias, okay, and it will be, and it's good, for example, at the beginning of your flying to tap exactly where the machine is correspondingly to your known location. So, and because sometimes when you power the machine, is said you can see that it gave the position of the aircraft maybe 30 meters away from you are exactly. So thanks to this option, you can recalibrate and fix this offset, especially when you are far from China. So if you want to always show the aircraft location at the center of the map, you can press yes, because it's very useful. The map type of map, you have standard, satellite, or night. Okay, so I will use standard. Weapon and mission route sampling. So when you will describe your mission through a curve through some weapons, in fact, it will apply a kind of signal processing, probably some Bezier curves, some spline curves, and you will need a kind of sampling rate to smooth this curve. Okay, it's a continuous curve. Okay, passing through each waypoints. This is the goal of such algorithm. And as I said previously, you can choose either the type of map, either a map for China or Google Map, probably if you are outside. The third and the last panel button, if you want to have an automatic screen rotation, the FPV always on, because if you turn off this one, you won't have any camera feedback. The camera, the parameter unit, metrics for me, or Imperial in MPH, horizontal calibration. So if you are flat on system, you can be sure to do that. So for example, I can do that here. Yes, I am in a flat surface, so I will do it. Okay, and you have some light flashing, initialing system, and you have this horizontal calibration down. Okay, so I think it's done. And you can also perform the compass calibration. Very, very, very important each time you are flying to perform a compass calibration. It's like any Hubsan product. You will have to turn clockwise, horizontally the machine, okay, until you will see on the screen to shift to the next position. Usually gimbal nose down and will turn clockwise as well. But everything is put in this application. You have currently the last app. Okay, and you can also, I don't see if you can calibrate the gimbal. Not here, yes. You have the app version and a guide. So that's only the option available. So not so bad. We will see if we can control, for example, the gimbal orientation. Yes, you can use it, or of course with the dial the speed control of the dial is very sensitive. So it was mentioned in most of the review that the pitch rate is very fast and need to be reduced by some newer RC control firmware update. Probably it will happen one day. So the interface is the same, and here you have, when you are in the air, you will see some flight mode available. So the normal flight mode, okay, or you can define some waypoint. So waypoint mission planner are already pre-recorded. That's great, because you can do that offline, and when you are in the field, just apply them, so you can save some battery. But if you are doing such kind, you have to, for example, define. Okay, you have to click on draw. Okay, click here and you can define a way like this, for example. And as you can see, the full trajectory I describe is sampled into 12 different waypoints. You can delete, of course, everything. Yes, okay. Or to just delete one point over them. You can define the point of interest. Let's say this one. Okay. Okay, this is a point of interest. For example, you can always targeting the gimbal on it, but you can delete everything. Okay, and voila. And when you are done, you just click to press on done when the, for example, the let's say it's this trajectory like this, and you are just press to submit here, and then when the trajectory is in board, you can just press down to run the waypoint planning. But if you press just individually to one of these points, you can also observe the ground. So it's 30 meters away, and you will stay here 2 seconds. So probably all these default settings can be adjusted, okay, into some other setting, but you can, if you want, define them individually over time. So it will stay 2 seconds on each waypoint. So if you want to reduce to 0 seconds, no problem. You will perform the trajectory like this. And what is good that you have also the maximum distance travel through this 16 waypoint here, so close to a 500 meters long trajectory. So they made some little improvement. That's not bad, but I would like to know if it's possible, for example, to select several points and to change simultaneously for all these selected points, the ground, okay, the elevation and so on. It sounds to be nuts, okay, but and when you are done, you just need to press. So that's what the waypoint. You have the orbit mode, the following mode. There are some 2 modes, so I need to take off first, so I will be on the field. The land flying mode, that's pretty good, okay, so you will fly parallel of your moving target. Creative some also, and there are some new mode available. So the main Hubsan application have been also upgraded for the Zino with the new I would say advanced flight modes. Not a revolution, but the application was already not so bad, very DJI inspired, and actually is not really crashing. Okay, you have some different settings you can share, etc. I did some video to create the movie with some special filter and so on. So now I will charge everything. Of course, I will update to the last firmware. And then, like the Xiaomi Ace3, I will go in the field and make several testing. How it's flying, how it's recording, and then more with the advanced mode.